Hi, my name is Eric Beck. I'm a brewmaster at Anheuser-Busch. Here today to introduce you to a new beer, Budweiser American Ale. Before we get into that, I really wanted to kind of step back and distinguish between a lager and an ale. We're real familiar with Budweiser, the American lager. Lager is German in heritage and translates into store or storage. So it generally takes much longer to brew. It's about a 30-day process for Budweiser lager. The American ale that we've been working on, we're using an ale yeast strain which is generally fermented warmer and much faster. So it's about 14 days. So a big point of difference in these beers. You'll also notice that the flavor profiles are quite different. We've been discussing the Budweiser American Ale for over a year and a half now, so this is really exciting to be bringing this to you. It took numerous trials in our pilot brewery to get to this final beer, and I was going to kind of walk you through some of that story. When we started talking about it well over 18 months ago, we really didn't know exactly what we wanted. We identified that we really wanted to make an amber ale. We think it's appealing to consumers that haven't tried these types of beers, and some that have been drinking them for a while would both be willing to try this beer, and I think they're going to like it. We wanted to make sure that we had all American ingredients, so we have a blend of pale and caramel malts from the Heartland. We've also got a blend of 4 domestic hops. And then we wanted to make sure that it had a distinct hop aroma up front. To do that, you really have to try this dry hopping practice, which basically means you store the beer cold on hops. We hadn't identified which hop variety we wanted to use. Each hop variety gives a distinct aroma. So we brewed numerous trials in our pilot brewery and dry hopped each brew with a different hop and then set them aside and tasted them blind without knowing what hop we used, and our panel overwhelmingly selected this hop. It's a Cascade hop from the Pacific Northwest, and it really gives you this nice citrusy kind of grapefruit aroma up front when you taste the beer. Another point of difference between these two beers, Budweiser Lager is 5% alcohol, where Budweiser American Ale, a little higher, it's 5.3. It's also meant to be more hoppy. It's 28 IBUs, so I think it's going to appeal to all beer connoisseurs. To ensure our beers are consistent and the quality is consistent, we fly our beers in from all 12 domestic breweries and put them on our taste panel every day at 3 o'clock. So we'll have a whole panel of brewmasters tasting these beers to make sure they're the highest quality and consistency throughout the breweries. When pouring these beers, you really want to pour the American lager right down the center of the glass, and you want to get a nice collar of foam about 1 inch thick on the top of the beer. With Budweiser American Ale, it's going to create a little more foam, so you're going to want to start the glass tilted, and once you get about 1/4 of the way up, go ahead and turn it upright and pour right down the center, and that'll give you that nice inch collar of foam on the top of that beer. Budweiser Lager is a golden lager. It has a subtle citrusy and malty aroma to it, and a smooth, real smooth malty middle, and it finishes clean. It's meant to be refreshing and more of a session beer. The Budweiser American Ale is going to be more savory. When you look at this beer, it's a rich amber color. It's got a nice dense head of foam, and you're going to notice this upfront Cascade grapefruit aroma. And once you get into the body, it's going to be more malty and caramel, but there's a balanced bitterness at the end, but it's very clean, it doesn't linger. And that's something we really focused on with this beer, is that we don't want it to be drying and whether you can only have one. We want it to be something you can have a few of them and enjoy with your friends. So we've talked about Budweiser American Ale and the difference between that and Budweiser Lager. We spent a lot of time and effort creating this beer. We're really excited about it. We think it's going to do well. So I hope you go enjoy it as much as we have. Cheers.